Dear friend, letters from the past are like histories mailed to us in the present. I'm Paul, your historical mailman. Subscribe so you won't miss a single delivery of history's mail. And now, let's dive into these chilling letters from the Titanic. My dear mother, we had good weather while we were in London. It is quite green and nice in England now. This boat is giant in size and fitted up like a palatial hotel. The food and music is excellent, and so far we have had very good weather. If all goes well, we will arrive in New York Wednesday a.m. I'm sending you a postcard of the ship and also a book of postcards showing the inside. We have not had any news since we left New York January 6th, so we do not know what has been going on since we left. Mate's sister was ill when we left and had an operation performed out of New York. Mate had a letter from Mr. Barry at Buenos Aires, which stated that she was getting on fine, but have not heard anything since. We have been so far away that it has been hard to reach us with mail. Mr. and Mrs. John Jacob Astor is on this ship. He looks like any other human being, even though he has millions of money. They sit out on the deck with the rest of us and are very democratic. Well, I guess I will write more another time. Dear parents, just a line to say we have got away all right. It's been a bit of a rush, but I am just getting a little settled. This is a fine ship, and there ought to be plenty of money on her. I've missed coming home very much, and it would have been nice to have seen you all if only for an hour or two, but I couldn't manage it. We have a fine band, and the boys seem very nice. I've had to buy some linen, and I sent my washing home today by post. I shall probably arrive home on the Sunday morning we are due here on the Saturday. I'm glad Mother's foot is better. Wallace. On board RMS Titanic. My dearest Sal, we got away yesterday after a lot of trouble. As we were passing the New York and the Oceanic, the New York broke her ropes and nearly ran into us, but we just happened to avoid a collision. I could see visions of Belfast. It must have been a trying time for the captain. Well, sweetheart, there is none of us got much of a show and there won't be much made on the outward journey. But it won't matter as long as we get something good on the homeward one. Well, it cannot be helped. We might be luckier next trip. Now, I hope you're feeling good and not worrying, because I think you needn't. How is my little sweetheart getting along? I guess she misses me a wee bit. What do you think? This ship is going to be a good deal better than the Olympic. At least I think so. Steadier and everything up till now. If we get in on time on Wednesday and there happens to be a boat, I will write from New York. But you see, if there isn't, it will come by ours and that won't be any good. I will drop a letter card too. You had better write one too. I will close now, dear. I haven't any news. I'm feeling pretty good. With fondest love and kisses to my dear wife and kiddies, your affectionate husband, Dick. My dearest ones all, as you see, it is Sunday afternoon, and we are resting in the library after luncheon. I was very bad all day yesterday, could not eat or drink and sick all the while. But today I've got over it. This morning, Eva and I went to church and she was so pleased they sang, "O God, our help in ages past." That is her hymn she sang so nicely. She sang out loudly. She is very bonny. She has had a nice ball and a box of toffee and a photo of this ship bought her today. Everybody takes notice of her through the teddy bear. There is to be a concert on board tomorrow night in aid of the sailors' home, and she is going to sing, so am I. Well, the sailors say we have had a wonderful passage up to now. There has been no tempest, but God knows what it must be when there is one. This mighty expanse of water, no land in sight, and the ship rolling from side to side is being wonderful. Though they say this ship does not roll on account of its size. Anyhow, it rolls enough for me. I shall never forget it. It is very nice weather, but awfully windy and cold. They say we may get into New York Tuesday night, but we are really due early Wednesday morning. Shall write as soon as we get there. This letter won't leave the ship, but will remain and come back to England, where she is due again on the 26th. Where you see the letter all of a screw is where she rolls and shakes my arm. I'm sending you on a menu to show how we live. I shall be looking forward to a line from somebody to cheer me up a bit. I am always shutting my eyes and I see everything as I left it. I hope you are all quite well. Let this be an all-around letter, as I can't write properly to all till I can set my foot on shore again. We have met some nice people on board, Lucy, and so it has been nice so far. But oh, the long, long days and nights. It's the longest break I have ever spent in my life. I must close now with all our fondest love to all of you. From your loving S. Heaps of love and kisses to all from Eva. My dearest Clara, Just a line or two just to let you know we are quite safe. After our terrible experience, one would never have believed when you saw me off on that journey before a week was out what I should have to go through. I am glad to say my cold is the only ill effects so far. So Clara, to see that magnificent ship like a floating palace go down in the sea was an awful spectacle. We had 70 feet to let down on the boat, and when we were going down, the steerage passenger jumped in the boat, and our officer, seeing our danger, jumped in the boat and shot the men to keep them from swamping us when nearly to the bottom. The ropes letting the lifeboats down refused to act, and they had to cut the rope, and we dropped. I thought that was my last minute. There was 59 in our boat. When we got well away from the ship, and after the ship had gone down, you should have heard the cries of those poor men and women. I could never describe it. It seemed to last about 2 hours, that terrible cry of help. After the ship had gone down, we had to change our boats to let our officer go back to the rescue, and when we had got into the boat, there were 4 dead men and a madman. I think they pushed him overboard. I never saw him again. After rowing for 7 hours, we got picked up by the Carpathia. We shouted for joy when we saw the ship. They took us up with ropes and gave us all neat brandy. There were 710 rescued, so that could not put us all up, so we slept on tables for 5 days. They were very kind to us indeed in every way. The suffering was frightful. We had 35 women who had lost their husbands on board, and one can imagine the agony of these women not knowing if their husbands were living or dead, and how glad we was to see New York. It was in a fever here. We were given some clothes directly. We came off. There was a steamer with 100 coffins waiting for the dead, but most that died were buried at sea. The flashlights took our photo. I was so glad to meet Carl and his friend. They soon got cab and we were snapshotted everywhere. There were 70,000 persons roped off in charge of the police. They all were so glad to see us, and the world's sympathy is ours in New York. But I shall never, never go in a floating palace again. Write to me soon. Send me any recipes you have got there. With much love, your loving friend Nell. We, the lady passengers, wish to express to the captain and officers, doctors and crew of the Carpathia our grateful appreciation of their tender kindness, courtesy, and generosity after a night of grief over the loss of fathers, husbands, sons, and brothers who in their fine gallantry and chivalry sacrificed themselves to make our escape and rescue possible. To their memory, we can only make 2 fitting tribute. For the woman survivors, Margaret Brown, Mrs. William Blanchett, Mrs. George W. Stone. Dear friend, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single delivery of history's mail. Sincerely, Paul, your historical mailman.